Hello friends, this is Madhuri from National Skills Network, which is popularly known as NSN. And I'm back with you today with a short video to share few tips and few insights and a bit of advice about making your skill-based training online impactful with the learners as well as with the organizations with whom we are associated. As we are aware today, most of the skill-based courses and skill-based training, vocational training has moved online because of the coronavirus pandemic. And this is a necessity and we need to cope with it till things get back to the old normal. So in such a scenario, we understand many training companies, many training organizations, academic institutions have taken to various ways of offering online training. So when we say skill-based training, it is important that we consider the practical element of this training because skill-based education and training is all about hands-on experience, industry experience, doing things on their own, making students learn, by dirtying their hands, by doing various exercises. So in today's situation, most of it is not possible, but still many training programs are being implemented, they are going on. So in such a context, how do we make sure that these training programs are impactful? So I thought, why not put up few points from my experience. As you may be aware, I have a huge experience in e-learning design, development, and so on. And I also happen to be the author of a book on e-learning, which is one of its kind in India. And I thought, using that background, let me, give you a few points which you could use perhaps, in your classroom. So let's go ahead and look at these three tips. Three tips are actually from three different areas of skill-based training. And I would like to reinforce that all these three areas are very, very important. So now let's see what are these three areas and how do you create the necessary impact or the impact that is needed to make a skill-based training successful while you're delivering it online. So as I was saying, I have an experience in e-learning in various areas of e-learning, and that's my book, which was published in 2011. And since then, I have been trying to share a lot of information and a lot of points that I wrote in this book with a lot of people. So I thought today, let me use few points from my book and put it in today's context. So in my book also, I'm talking about the importance of the content, the context, learners, technology, and the evaluation, patterns and the process which make any e-learning or online learning successful. So taking few points from my book, I would like to go ahead and share these three tips. Now let's look at what these three tips are. The first and most important is to understand that skill-based training is all about learners. It's not about technology alone. So it's not about which platform you're using, whether you're using Zoom or Microsoft Teams or WebEx or any of these online platforms or Google Hangouts or, Google Meet or any of these. These are all, technology and tools. But actual challenge lies in how are we teaching? What is the process we are using? Are we able to understand how the learners would receive online learning because they are not face to face? And in a culture like ours, where a lot of education has always happened in the classroom, a lot of training has always happened in the classroom, if we are expecting them to do very well through online medium, then I think our expectations are also not right. So I think in this area, we need to focus on the pedagogical aspects, that is, the way, the methodology of teaching, the psychology behind it, what motivates the learner, how can you keep them motivated, what is the best process, what are the theories that work behind in keeping the learners engaged, how do we design the content, keeping all these in mind. And also another important area is andragogy. Andragogy pertains to the principles of how adults learn. So if you are aware, adults learn differently from children. So since most of the skill-based training is delivered at present to adult learners, we need to keep in mind few points like how adults like their learning to be very relevant. They like to see what are the objectives that are being achieved, and also they would not like to be told to do many things because they come with a lot of experience, life experience. So we need to consider a few things. Maybe in another presentation, I will take you through most of these principles of andragogy. It might be interesting and helpful. And if you wish to know more, you can visit our website, nationalskillsnetwork.in, where we have put up few ebooks which can help you. One of them pertains to this adult learning principles. So you can download the ebook and learn more about it. The second point here is to do with training content design. So there is this thing about designing the content, making it instructionally sound. So in case we are trying to just put up whatever training content is available in the hard copy format, in the form of PDFs or something, and expecting students to learn from there, then that's not going to work at all, because online medium works very differently, and engaging learners through this medium is a very different kind of a challenge. Today what we see is most of the training is happening like a replication of what actually happens in a classroom. So that's not the way it works. So we will have to look at how the content has to be redesigned using instructional design principles, and also find out how learners can be engaged, what are the ways in which we can make it interactive. And most importantly, we need to distinguish between asynchronous and synchronous forms of online learning. Synchronous is live online learning, which is done through, let's say, live video sharing, like organizing a Google Meet or Zoom meeting, and then delivering your classes, or beaming it live, or broadcasting it live from a classroom where the teacher is actually teaching, and so on. Asynchronous is something that is already recorded, that's already done, and we are sharing it with the learners so that they can learn at their own pace and at own time. Now, the second important tip here is to avoid duplication of classroom. As I just said, online learning doesn't mean that we do a recording of the classroom, or we just, try to stream the classroom continuously for 8 hours or so. Just imagine the pressure on the students. Long theory sessions, where they cannot concentrate, because most of them, rather all of them are still studying from home. So in such a situation, it is absolutely, difficult for them to concentrate for such long hours. So the curriculum itself has to be reorganized into modular formats, so that we pick up small chunks and then we deliver them at regular intervals. Let's say, a certain number of skills, or a certain, area in a particular skill is being covered for about 1 to 2 hours. Then there is a break, and then the students do some activity or they do some exercises and then come back. But in case you are trying to do a continuous live telecast or a live streaming of your classroom, then definitely it's not going to be helpful, because like I said, there is this fatigue or tiredness, and the idea that you are watching something like a classroom and trying to focus and concentrate and watch how the teacher is, the trainer is explaining, or the teacher is explaining things itself, is not a very easy thing for most of the learners. So it has to be done gradually, it has to be done in a modular way with a lot of interactivity built in. So this is my second point, or tip, where I'm saying very strongly, please avoid duplication of a traditional classroom, and design your training programs differently for the long run, because online learning is definitely going to stay for long. Now, the third and most important tip is the technology and tools. As we know, most of the students who are undertaking these skill-based courses come from different financial backgrounds, and all of them may not have access to a good laptop or a desktop or a mobile phone or a tablet, which has a good internet connectivity or a data plan. So if we feel that, most of them are not having the latest technology or tools. We need to look at ways and means about how this learning content can be shared. So when I say learning content, I don't mean something like e-content where you take a book and just convert it into a PDF and give it to everybody. No, it has to be designed in a different way. It maybe you take an approach like you make some presentations, or then you share these presentations with the students so that they can refer to it later in case they are not able to watch things online. So we will have to consider different scenarios in different parts of the country from where the students are accessing these programs. In case this is not being done, then again there is a danger that whatever skill based training is being given to these students is not going to be very helpful. And last and most important thing is how comfortable are the students from about learning from such devices. As we know, this is online skill based training is something which is a recent thing in terms of popular acceptance or popular adoption. As I mean, we all know that because today there are certain constraints under which all the training centers are operating, we are resorting to various online media and trying to see that the courses are continued and there is no break, which is very important, of course. So in such a scenario, learning from a device, the students need to be told how to plan their learning, how to take breaks, how to be prepared, how to be prepared with a tool. It could even be keeping it charged, with full battery, or having a good data plan. So there are many other things like this which need to be considered. So I feel these three tips should be taken very seriously when you're thinking of skill-based training through online format. They need to be followed until the situation becomes normal, where students come to the classroom and then you give them these theory sessions and take them through practicals in the lab or wherever you always do such practical sessions, whether it's a role play or whether it is something to do with a simulator based training or many other things which are there for many skill based courses. So please do remember these three tips and let me know if these were useful for you. Uh, if you followed them, and then if it was useful, that will be nice for me also to learn from you. So with this, I would like to close my short presentation. Thanks a lot for watching this. And then I look forward to be connected with you. Do subscribe to our channel, click the bell icon, and you will be getting all the updates as and when we publish content. And do let us know if these tips were useful. If they were useful, do share with your friends. That will make us happier. And be in touch. Visit our website for regular updates and follow us on social media channel. Thanks again. See you later. This is Madhuri Dubey saying bye. Thank you.